Question number 6, the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Mr. Speaker, my question is to the Minister of Labour. Has she or any Department of Labour official analysed the contract being offered to workers currently employed on behalf of Telecom? If so, what advice has been given to those workers or their representatives?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
On behalf of the Minister, no, neither I nor the Department of Labour get involved in contractual disputes between private sector companies and their workers.
The Honourable
Supplementary
Trevor
question.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Has she or her officials read the emails received in her office on this subject over the last month?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
I'm not in possession of that information on behalf of the Minister. I'm not in possession of that information myself, but it would be extraordinary if a Minister did not read emails. I'm sure she'll have read the emails, or her staff will.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Supplementary question.
Order. I've called the Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Does she agree with her colleague, John Carter, that the contracts are a crock and workers should not sign them?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, of course, Mr. Carter is acting on behalf of his constituents in his capacity as Member of Parliament for Northland. He is well known to represent those concerns, and that's precisely why he has such a large majority and it continues to get voted in by his constituents.
The Honourable Trevor Mallard. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Can the Minister then explain why the contracts are a crock in Northland but are supposedly acceptable around the rest of the country?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, if the member had listened more carefully, he would have appreciated that the member for Northland was acting on behalf of the constituents. Like all members of Parliament, we hear views of our constituents, and that's the normal role of activity of a member of Parliament, not a matter of ministerial responsibility.
Supplementary.
Supplementary. Why is the Minister refusing to meet with the National Distribution Union executive this week? Because, according to the Minister's office, the Telecom workers who belong to the EPMU, another union, are on strike. And will she be applying the same principle by, for example, refusing to meet with any business representatives this week because Telecom's involved in an industrial dispute?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Minister, I'm advised that she was unable to meet the NDU because of a clash of commitments.
Marion Fenton.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the Minister, does she agree that there is an inherent issue of employment fairness at stake when the CEO of Telecom gets $5 million or more, while the Telecom lines engineers are facing redundancy with no compensation? And will she be considering any measures to help rectify this awful situation?
The Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp.
Mr. Speaker, I'd remind, on behalf of the member, of course, I'd remind that member that these issues are all resolved under the Employment Relations Act, which was passed in the year 2000 by the then Labor Party.
Sue Bradford.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Sue Bradford.
I seek leave to table a statement from the NDU saying they were advised by the Minister's office that the risks are too great for her to come to the meeting and she can't meet with the union because Telecom workers are on strike.
Leave is sought to table that document. Is there any objection? There is no objection. The Honourable Trevor Mallard.
Question. In light of his response to my second supplementary question, is he prepared to deny in this House that the contract being offered to workers formerly employed on behalf of Telecom is a crock?
Order. Before I ask the Minister to respond to that, the Minister is not actually responsible for an employment contract being offered by a private company like Telecom. And while you know the Minister I did permit the Minister to comment give his opinion on the comment made by his ministerial colleague. Once we get too far down the track on matters that are probably private matters of the company, it gets a bit difficult. I'll listen to the honourable member.
And it's a relatively simple one. This is a matter which has been referred on a number of occasions to the Minister's office, the responsible Minister's office. It is something that I am sure that the Minister has looked at. She might want to say that she doesn't want to comment on it, but it is a matter that I think is properly before the House.
I'll invite the Honourable Dr Wayne Mapp to answer the question.
Mr Speaker, as is well known, ministers do not get involved in private disputes between private companies and their employees. That is exactly how the ERA is supposed to work.